So how does music escape when even light cannot? Unable to escape what you're doing by genuinely paying attention to your vibrations to obtain those, you must cling to that object. Only the data from Voyager 1 and 2 instances illustrating the value of space probes fundamental to our understanding of the cosmos. These probes are giving us information. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. On the outermost parts of our solar system in real time, despite the fact that not possessed the chance to directly yet, after years of research the Voyager 1 probe collected some unusual data. NASA has returned from deep space. Engineers stepped on the strange messages arriving from outer space. Is there a reason why Voyager 1 is sending? Whether to be alarmed, join us as we examine Voyager 1's operation. Touched in deep by a mysterious force, space, the Voyager missions ran for almost 45 years. Have been essential in the space studies, presenting some of the first and most crucially examines the truth condition of the solar system. The NASA Voyager twin spacecraft in the process become time capsules, for there they possess an 8-track tape recorder for storing data and related 3 times as much memory as contemporary cell phones can communicate data. Data at a rate of approximately 38,000 slow compared to 5G internet connection. The space pioneers explorer operations are still our travelers. The sun's planets travel through the interstellar ocean, also called the galaxy, to space that has never been explored by any additional probes. To obtain a more complete representation of the sun, the heliosphere and the sun's surface interact. Interstellar space researchers are collaborating data from the earliest emissions data collected by the Voyager spacecraft. There hasn't been another spaceship that can transform how we think about the impact of the sun on these. All of the Voyager spacecraft serve as a representative of humanity, with the music recordings on a golden record, greetings in several different languages. Pictures of Earth's daily life, schematics of fundamental scientific concepts to protect any potential contacts. Utilizing the spaceship, the gold plating on the recordings acts as at the rate of a cosmic message in a bottle, because in space, gold corrodes and deteriorates. The information will be preserved for longer, a billion years or more. Professionals have been shocked by the direction and strength of the magnetic field of the stars, and the new even conversation has been started by information pertaining to the appearance and activities of the magnetic region of the sun's heliosphere. The heliosphere, which has long been compared to, in reality, a comet, might be more spherical than originally thought. And does it change in size over time? As do sunspots reappear after they have disappeared? Stay mostly unchanged. The spacecraft's role in this inquiry has provided some intriguing clues. According to astronomers, the interstellar, as soon as the solar wind, which is the incoming influx of charged particles, the sun comes to a close. This ionized gas or plasma presses compared to the denser, colder interstellar. The surrounding plasma acts as a stone in a stream, analogous to how the Earth's surface is. The troposphere is often referred as the heliosphere, the tropopause, and heliopools are the hollow, cut-out structures by the sun. The helio draws back time that came from Earth was a mystery to us. A satellite was launched, given that Jupiter is just 5 greater distance from the sun than Earth. According to some, the heliopores might be found there. Estimated travel times to the spacecraft's heliopoles grew, accelerated outward even further. Without a surety, it wasn't Jupiter. No one was aware of Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune. Not knowing the exact place or timing of entering interstellar space, as a traveler, Voyager detected heliopole signals soon after it first contacted Neptune, and the 2 cruises began in July 1992. Fine, strong radio waves at between 2 and 3 cycles kilohertz. According to some experts, these 6 big solar flares to radio waves that occurred more than a year ago, they had been found. The plasma that was discharged throughout the eventually made its way to the flares until it led to the heliopause, where electrons vibrate and produce radio waves. As to the findings of the researcher, despite being so feeble that it was misunderstood to create a clean vacuum on Earth, the medium between stars is much denser than the distance between the outer heliosphere and the sun's heliopoles. Were also based on understanding the outward solar material's velocity. and the length of time it took to get there. The heliopoles' distance from one another from the Sun was calculated by understanding the anticipated outward solar wind speed, the amount of time it took for the substance to reach the border at a typical distance there is one between the Sun and Earth. This distance and the astronomical unit is between 116 and 177 astronomical units. The 25th of August, 2012, at a distance of Voyager 1, in 121.6 astronomical units. There were some scattered across the heliopoles. There were clear signs Voyager 1 had crossed the heliopause. Began with high-energy solar wind particles. This was presumably a sign to evaporate, indicating that the remaining solar wind had also been abandoned. Moreover, cosmic rays from beyond solar system, that is only partly due to the heliosphere's obstruction, heightened after the traveler's passage, but numerous researchers, despite this data, there is still were two separate issues. At first, Voyager, the plasma instrument on one, had broken down, stopping it from taking the significantly increased particle density that when it departed the heliosphere and extended into astronomical space. A second alternative route for the magnetic field to extend further, although the heliosphere was anticipated, did not come to pass. The coincidence of the calls both the interior and exterior of the heliosphere has not yet received enough explained. The Sun had an impact on the Voyage's early 2012 solar storm. Success began to explode, and the subsequent year they jolted. Voyager 1's plasma was moving across the Sun had a part in Voyager's early 2012 solar success. Storms began to develop, and the plasma the following year by shocking it. Voyager 1 was traveling through therefore, the plasma's electrons started to oscillate, eventually resulted in the radio that the satellite could detect the radio wave frequency they represented. Voyager had encountered a considerably denser environment area. Voyager 2 made its heliopoles in 2018. This time crossing on November 5th. No issues were brought up by the traverse. The plasma of the spacecraft, a tool, was in use and capable of keep track of the rise in particle density resulting from protons, electrons, and collision of other charged particles. Also, the temperature was noted between 35,000 and 50,000 Kelvin, and was far higher compared to that of the nearby the interstellar space. Probably when the plasma was compressed it did so because it penetrated the heliosphere. This took place. Like Voyager 1, the probe observed the solar wind dwindles, and less of additional solar cosmic rays rise, but the magnetic field did not change direction, demonstrating once more that the results from 6 years before, it wasn't an anomaly. The close proximity of the distances shows the heliopoles are more powerful than the earlier thought. Journeys 1 and 2 are still departing from whatever the exact form of the heliosphere may be, since the signals from the spaceship travel at that will take them as long as light travels over 22 hours to reach us. Upon Pioneer 10's eventual silence in Voyager 2 will have traveled by late 2023. It will take 129 astronomical units. Surpass it to take over as the second, the two longest spacecraft journeys, both moving in the opposite directions, and then any of them are further away from Earth. Experts have claimed that Voyager 1 had recorded a buzzing noise that, with relation to waves found in minute gas reserves found in the nearly space between the stars, the strength of the Voyagers wanes as the plutonium decays and generates less heat. So NASA stated that in order to make up for this, the group turned off all devices, including several that were formerly believed to important. Among them are heaters that shielding still operational instruments from the icy depths of space. According to the Space Agency, all 5 of the equipment whose heaters have not been running since 2019, they are still in operation. How to make the Voyages continue to run in temperatures far lower than they was created for continues to confound NASA scientists. The regulation and expression of attitude. The probe system AX also had a malfunction that year. Before this was the system that ensures the antennae of the probe are aimed at Earth. As of right now, the probe's performance was flawless and contained no recognized interference through a vehicle's onboard computer, which stopped functioning years ago. The confused probe started broadcasting wrong telemetry data, tainting the processing with the right data. The probe lost track of where it was in when it, because of the Voyager's slip orbit, prompts the inquiry as to whether or not When one of the organization's oldest and most distant spacecraft, even if only NASA specialists were able to fix the problem recently by telling the computer to go back to its prior computer. Despite the administration asserts that the mistake won't affect the sustainability of the mission, some researchers have already begun looking at the possibility of making alternatives for travelers. No one knows for sure how long the two spacecraft will endure, so they must remain heated. To prevent a fuel from igniting directs their antennae toward from freezing. The Earth Voyager syndrome is caused by plutonium. Creation of heat. However, as it rots, it each generates increasingly less energy year. We appreciate you viewing this new episode of While You're Still Here, Voyager. Make be certain you click the video there on your screen for additional mind-blowing space videos.
Yeah, yeah.